What is going on, guys? In this video today, I wanted to talk about non-competes and then potentially being taken away in September and what this means for current sales reps getting into the future, and the positives and negatives that it could happen to the industry. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so a non-compete agreement is essentially saying that when you sign with a company, you are not able to work for a competitor of that company in your designated geography for at least a year after your employment with the current company that you work at. So that might have been a little bit long-winded, but here's essentially what it means. If I joined a company selling a certain type of metal, I cannot quit my job, go to a competitor that also sells metal, and just work for them immediately. Usually you have to wait out a year of time. But the thing is, some companies have longer non-competes. I've seen 18-month non-competes. So essentially it is just insurance for the person that is employing you, saying that I will not leave you and go work with someone else immediately. The biggest time when you see non-competes get enforced like this is when people have a very large book of business and they try and move it to a competitor because the competitor wants to pay them a lot of money. What usually happens in this situation is if the person wants to go to the competitor, they'll have to sit out for a year. That competitor will have to hire someone else to sort of like take their place for a year. And then the person who sat out for a year will come back after that time is up. But the interesting thing is that if non-competes are done away in September, you could essentially build a stacker med device sales team, essentially with no non-competes. So here's what I mean by this. If you had 4 veteran reps that were all in different territories around the same area, but they all worked for different companies, you could essentially have all 4 veteran reps coincide with one company and move all of the business to the same company, which wouldn't be able to happen with a non-compete because all of them would have to sit out. Right? So that is the interesting thing that could happen. Now, when you're dealing with healthcare, also, you always got to know that, doctors don't only do things because of reps. Like, they rarely do. So most people think that they have a better relationship with the doctor than they actually do, and they will go to a company, sit out the non-compete, and then realize that they actually did not bring any of the business that they thought that they were going to bring. So with that being said, a non-compete can actually be good for businesses in a sense that they can retain their employees because they're grounded by that non-compete to prevent other companies from building a giant sales force essentially overnight. So sometimes it's not as good for the employee because if the employee wants to leave, goes to a competitor, aligns with them better, they have to sit out. But the business, ultimately, it can be better for because they get that insurance policy, so to speak, against the rep. So I would love to know your thoughts in the comments, what you think about non-competes, if they're going to be done up in September. What it means for you. If you think this is a good idea, a bad idea, I would love to hear what you think. Without further ado, we'll see you next time. Monday, I will be posting again.